So, former Major League Baseball Commissioner Fay Vincent is jumping into the controversy over the move of the All-Star Game. And Fay Vincent says Major League Baseball cannot become a weapon in the culture war. And he's absolutely right here. I mean, this is about a game. And there was a time in America where you could go to a baseball game, you could go to a football game, you could sit down, you could have a great time with friends, the people that you were seated around. You had no idea what their politics were. You didn't care about any of that. It was about the game. It was about cheering on your team. It was about heckling the other side. It was about camaraderie. It was about being a fan. And now you have to pledge allegiance to some sort of a political ideology. I mean, this is nuts, folks. It's absolutely nuts, and it's tearing this country apart. So I'm glad that Fay Vincent is speaking out here, and I'm hoping that people in Major League Baseball are hearing what the American people are saying. This has to stop. By the way, just want to point this out. Atlanta, Georgia, 54% black. Denver, Colorado, barely 10% black. What does that tell you about the move? You know, again, the mainstream media, all about optics. Major League Baseball, all about optics. Doesn't sound very woke to me, America. Well, I want to go to the Liberty University Newsmaker line. Honored to have with us a great congresswoman from Florida, Cammack. Welcome to the program.
Hey, how are you doing?
You know, I'm doing well, thank you. And we're sort of maneuvering through this cultural chaos with Major League Baseball and, of course, what's happening with your governor, who's really caught up in all of this with the 60 Minutes attack. Congresswoman, yes. This is the time where we have to stand firm in our beliefs.
Absolutely. I mean, it's despicable. I had an opportunity to watch the unedited version of 60 Minutes. And when you look at just the purposely manipulate and just distract from the real issue, and didn't even do the due diligence of talking with our former emergency management director, Jared Moskowitz, who himself is a Democrat, who's done a phenomenal job in deploying vaccines across the state of Florida. They didn't talk to him. They refused to talk to him. They wanted to make this a political hit job because they see a governor who is on the rise, a presidential contender, really, and they were doing everything they could to make this a hit piece, not focusing on the facts. And the fact of the matter is Florida is leading the nation when it comes to vaccine deployment, in our response to COVID, and how we can make sure that our most vulnerable receive the vaccines first in the most efficient manner possible, utilizing private-public partnerships. And it's just disgusting. It's like you said, you know, this woke culture is killing America as we know it.
And your governor, unlike other Republican governors across the country, the governor of Florida is actually doing it the right way. And I hope people are paying attention. You cannot give an inch. You stand your ground. If you are in the right, you stand your ground and you defend yourself. And that's what this governor is doing. And now the media is coming after him, Congresswoman, because he's defending himself. Well, he's just taking advantage of our bad reporting.
Exactly. It's just disgusting. This is the woke mob, the ultra-liberal left media, and all they're doing is pushing for headlines and ratings. The more outrageous the headline, the more eyeballs are going to see it. And it's just clickbait. This is all it is, and people fall for it. At the end of the day, it's all about the dollars. And they know that if they can enrage Americans to the point where they're just going to constantly be clicking on these stories, no matter if it's factual or not, they're going to do it. And so we have got to get smarter. We have got to be faster, harder on pushing back on this ultra-liberal narrative that the left has so perfectly manipulated and deployed out there in the mainstream media.
On the Liberty University Newsmaker line, Congresswoman Cammack from Florida. Congresswoman, I know the other day you had a big town hall meeting. What are you hearing from your constituents, and what's the top issue on their minds?
You know, it's interesting. We've done a couple of teletown halls with our constituents, one of the most efficient ways to talk with our folks. And I have to tell you, election integrity is top of mind for not just my constituents, but constituents all across America. You know, as I am talking to you right now, I am on our southwest border with two of my great colleagues, freshman colleagues from Kansas, Tracy Mann and Jake LaTurner. And we've been, for the last 48 hours, touring what's happening down here. And we've talked about what our constituents are curious about, what they care about, and it's election integrity. They want Republicans to stand up and push back. And I think collectively across the country, you're seeing Americans that are just sick and tired of beating the other side. They want to get things done. And that's why we're so focused on taking the House back in 2 years.
When you during your tour of the border, we've been hearing, we heard from Congressman Ted Budd yesterday. There's great concern about the children that are just being dropped off, literally dropped off, kids in tears. It's just a horrible scene down there. Is that really happening?
It is. And in fact, I just put you on speaker so my two colleagues can hear you. We're on our way to the airport. So you got a 3-for-1 package right now.
Well, wait. Hold on, Congressman. Tell us who's in the car with you.
So I've got Tracy Mann from the great state of Kansas, one of my freshman colleagues, and Jake LaTurner, also from Kansas. And we are 3 freshmen representing the House Homeland Security Committee and House Agriculture Committee. And we've been down here for about 48 hours. And collectively, we toured the Donna processing facility. Yesterday, we saw firsthand young girls under the age of 10 that had been gang raped. We saw the facility they call TOPS, which is really just an area underneath a bridge where they have put up some construction infrastructure, some fencing, and they're processing folks that are walking up. In fact, while we were standing there talking to the Border Patrol agents, there was a group of kids that just walked up. It was incredible. I've never seen anything like this. And the thing that sticks out is the cartel controls the border. If you are coming to the United States, you pay the cartel. No matter where you come from, they will take a piece of it. And they are making so much money. It is absolutely unconscionable, the human trafficking that's taking place. It breaks your heart. But more than anything, it should piss every American off, because this is a travesty. This is a crisis. And the fact that this administration is too spineless to call it what it is, that right there tells you that they are not fit to lead, and that's why we have to take the House back and then the White House in 4 years. You know,
Tracy and Jake, we've got a huge audience, especially in Kansas, a lot of listeners in the Wichita area. I'm curious what you are hearing from your constituents specifically about the border. Do they consider that to be a big issue for them?
Yeah, very much so. People are concerned about it. People are horrified and angry, as are we, when we see these kids and people are getting taken advantage of. We have an open border right now, which is completely unacceptable for the United States of America.
Well, look, we're going to – I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say the people in the 2nd Congressional District in Kansas are mortified by what they see on TV. They want something done about it. The expectations of the American people are insanely reasonable. They want a secure border. They want to make sure that we don't have drugs flowing in. They want to make certain that we aren't empowering the cartel on the Mexican side of the border, and that's what this administration is doing. We have to fix it. We have to change it. We need the administration to step up and admit what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah, well said. Well said. All right, well, folks, we're going to have to let you guys go. So you're heading to the airport. Who's driving? Is somebody violating the law by talking on the cell phone while driving?
No, we are very lucky. We have our chiefs with us. So you've got 3 members and 3 chiefs, and we're currently en route from one facility, and the whole team's doing a great job. And I got the Customs and Border Patrol agents in the field, on the border, and air and marine units. They're doing a phenomenal job with the limited resources that they have. So we're taking all this information back to our districts as well as to Washington, and we're going to get our colleagues down here to see firsthand this humanitarian crisis and this national security crisis that's unfolding. Well said.
Well said. Kat Cammack, also Tracy Mann and Jake LaTurner, thank you all very much. Safe travels back to your districts and to Washington, D.C., and thanks for fighting for the American people.
Absolutely. You have a good one.
All right, you too. There you go. You never know what's going to happen on the Todd Starnes radio program.